hockey handicapping right now. Go, Sens, go. All right, there we go. Let's look at the National Hockey League here tonight. You got the San Jose Sharks taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, the Leafs, big favorites tonight. In fact, minus 300 is the line. 6.5 is the total. And looking at the probable starting goalies, you probably got Aaron Dell for San Jose. Big win last night at the Bell Center. And, yeah, I was on Montreal. I know I wavered yesterday, but I went with Montreal. I went with the B-type team, and they burnt me. B for burnt, eh? That's what the Habs did to me yesterday. They burnt me. Matt Murray's in nets though tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And looking at the analytics of the game, we got 3.9 to 2.7 favoring the Buds. Toronto 7-3 in their last 10, 3-7 to the under. My line on the game, the Ron Raymond Raymond Report line, minus 310. So you can see we're a fair market value, but you know the rules. We don't lay I don't lay that kind of money in hockey. 60.8% chance of winning here for Toronto over San Jose. The Kogels at 53%. Kogel stands for chance of game going over the total. Toronto on a 4-game win streak, and when they're at home against those C-type teams, they are 4-2, 1-5 to the under. And San Jose bearish the last 3 days. Bearish means that in their last 7 games, they are 2-5, and that's why they are bearish. San Jose, a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team. Look at this. Front-loaded home games at the beginning of the year. 2-12 at home. Holy cow. Where's my Harry Carey right there? That deserves a holy cow.
Holy cow.
Yeah, 2-12. 2-12, not good. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 7-5 on the road and at home at the Scotiabank Arena. 14-10 on the season. And looking at San Jose, just like Montreal, they do well here when they play against the Habs and the Leafs. In fact, they are 7-3 at the Scotiabank Arena in their last 10 trips. And Toronto coming off a big win in their last game against the Red Wings, 4-2 at Detroit, and then they won 4-1 at Pittsburgh and 4-3 at the Minnesota Wild. So Toronto, Minnesota 4-3. So a 1-goal win, a 2-goal win, a 3-goal win. Toronto's rolling, baby. Hey, Toronto is rolling the dice right now. They're playing some good hockey. I think it's a tough thing to go against the Leafs here tonight. I would go Toronto in this one. All right, let's get to the next game here between the Edmonton Oilers and the Chicago Blackhawks. Hey, I'm trying to say the Black Sox, eh? It's like the Chicago White Sox. Hey, the Chicago Blackhawks, not Chicago White Sox. I see, as soon as I said Chicago, my baseball mind started taking over there. All right, the Chicago Blackhawks, not the Black Sox, because there's no such team as the Chicago Black Sox. Hey, maybe make up a team over there. Hey, you know, you got the North and South. Maybe we need a Central. They could be called the Black Sox. I don't know. Edmonton Oilers minus 220 here tonight. 6.5 is the total. And looking at the percentage play of winning the game, and going back to the Raymond Report, we always talk about the value percentage play and the performance cycles. And looking at minus 220, a little bit chalky. I had at minus 145. Chicago, though, 1-9 in their last 10 games. Struggling big time. 1-9 straight up. 5-5 to the over-under. I did have the Chicago Blackhawks at plus 158, and you can see they're plus 180 tonight. So if you do like Chicago, you're getting a little bit of value, but you're on a 7-game losing streak, and you're 1-3 against B-type teams. Not a good record here for Chicago. Not a good string of games in the month of November. In fact, when you look at their home record this year, 4-8 after a pretty good start. Luke Richardson really had this team rolling at the beginning, but the training wheels fell off, and now when you don't have 4 wheels, you only got 2. You can see the Chicago team is reeling just a bit, or as Joe Namath would say, struggling. All right, but the good news is, if you do like Chicago, they are 6-4 in their last 10 head-to-head meetings, and the over is 8-2 between the Chicago and Edmonton. So whenever these two teams get together, they tend to play some high-scoring affairs, like the Edmonton Elks and the Chicago Bears, right? All right, let me see here. The total. So in the last 7 head-to-head games, one thing I like to do is to see where the mindset of the bookmaker was at the time of the the last couple of years, right? Because when you look at a hockey team, the core nucleus of those players are mostly there. 6.5, and we're going back to 2022, February 9th. So when was I see a 6 down here in 2020? So you can see 4-1, 4-3, 6-5. So 2 of the last 3 games I've gone over the total. And what's the Kogo in this one here tonight. The Kogo's at 38%. Kogo's very low. That means, that means the under has a really good chance here tonight. So I don't know. I think Edmonton at Chicago. I like Edmonton to win this one. The Edmonton Oilers, looking at their last game, a 4-3 win over the Florida Panthers, right? Nice win. They're at Minnesota prior to this one here tonight, and before playing Minnesota, not a good record, 8-27. So I'm probably leaning to the over. I probably would go the over here tonight. Let me see here what you guys are saying. And don't forget, guys, if you got any comments you want to make, I'm doing a game right now, and you want to chime in and you want to say, hey, you know what? Don't forget this, because that's the beauty about this this podcast and the members of the Ram Report. You guys are, all of us is stronger than one of us, right? So whenever I'm doing a game and you got information, you're from Chicago, like Gloria K's from Chicago, right, Gloria? And if you know anything about going on in Chicago that we should feel about, or you're from Edmonton and you say, you know what? The mood here in Edmonton is not that good. The coach on the hot seat, the goalie is he's injured, but nobody's talking about it. Those are the things we want to talk about. These are things that again, all of us is stronger than one of us, and the more information we share in the podcast into the bullpen, that's what we call our chat box, then it makes everything better, right? Then you got the little bit of inside information from the locals of the area. All right, so minus 220. I do like the over here tonight between Edmonton and the Chicago Blackhawks. In fact, let me go down here and look at that. Wow. Okay. Hello. Anytime you got a road team like the Edmonton Oilers this season, coming off 2 1-goal game wins. So are they coming off 2 1-goal game wins? Look at that. 4-3, 4-3. Okay. So we got a good system trend here tonight going. And the system trend is this. Anytime any teams in this situation coming off 2 1-goal game wins, 12-2 to the over. Hey, where else are you going to get great information like that? Only on the Rain Report. All right, let's get to the next game. I do like the over in this game here tonight between the Chicago Blackhawks, not the Black Sox, but the Blackhawks against the Oilers. Rui Pedro Nagueira from Lisbon, Portugal is in the house. Good morning, Rui. And he says, hello, Ray and Bullpen. Had another great day following the World Cup. Go Portugal, says Rui. Rui loves his Portuguese national team, and good luck today in the World Cup. All right, speaking of national teams or local teams, and every time I play the Ottawa, every time I do the Ottawa games, I got to do this.
We're losing!
Well, actually, we're not losing. We won our last 2 games, so we'll give them a break here. The Ottawa Senators hosting the New York Rangers here tonight. Rangers losing their last 3 games, losing to the Devils 5-3 the other night. They got that empty netter scored on them, but they were down like 4-1 in that game. They came back to make a game out of it, 4-3, and then they lose 5-3. Ottawa salvaged a bit of the Western road trip. They didn't have a good start. They lost 5-1 to San Jose, 4-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights, and then they beat Anaheim convincingly 5-1, and then a 3-2 win with Claude Giroux getting the winner on a overtime winner. A nice breakaway deke, and Claude Giroux has been a great addition here to the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa's not playing really well at home, 5-6, even worse on the road, 3-7. And you look at tonight's line value, you can see we do have the Sens at minus 186, and you're getting plus money here. The only thing I don't like is you're getting a team coming off a Western road trip, and that first game at home is always tough for those teams from a body clock point of view, right? Maybe some of the players' body clock is still on Western time. But the last game was, let me see here. What was the last game they played? The 27th. So that was, 3 days ago. So they should be back to normal. Should have been back in their beds and getting back on Eastern time zone. And looking at the percentage play, 65.7% favoring Ottawa tonight. 47.06 for the Rangers, who are now on a 3-game losing streak. 6-5 on the road, though. Believe it or not, Rangers play better on the road than they do at home, but they don't do well in this building here at the Scotiabank place. The Canadian Tire Center. Keep calling the Scotiabank. Hey, don't get me back on the Scotiabank, my Bryan Adams ticket. I always if you missed the earlier this year, I had tickets to Bryan Adams, and it said Scotiabank Arena, and we used to be called the Scotiabank Arena here in Ottawa. I bought tickets, but mind you, there were tickets in Toronto, so I had to give them to my sister. So, Merry Christmas to Julie. Hope you enjoyed Bryan Adams. Now you know the rest of the story by Paul Harvey. All right, New York Rangers 3-7 straight up at the Canadian Tire Center, and hey, as Harry Carey would say,
Holy cow.
Holy cow, what were you thinking? All right, let me see here. 4-8 for the Rangers at home, 6-5 on the road, but not good in Ottawa. 3-7, but the Ottawa Senators 5-5 in their last 10 head-to-head meetings against the New York Rangers. Rangers are, man, they're struggling big time. But the last time they played the Ottawa Senators was April 9th and was a 5-1 win for the New York Rangers. Let's see if we have any trends to talk about in this one. And you can see here, nothing. I don't, with Talbot and Shesterkin here tonight, probably. Let me see. We got Shesterkin, Talbot. This game could go under the total. I think this might be an under game. Eh? Yep. NBA, of course, says Rui. Yeah, I think this one goes under the total here tonight in the nation's capital, Ottawa, Ontario. All right, let's get to the next game on hand. And how about we tune up the little organ right here. Go Wings, go. All right, I think I like the Wings in this one, but we'll see. Detroit minus 135, 6.5 is the total. Minus 155 was my line, so if you do like Detroit, they're undervalued tonight against the Buffalo Sabres, who are pretty much struggling in their last 10 games. Struggling big time. 2-8, 5-5 for Detroit last 10. And looking at the line value for Buffalo, I had plus 185. You're getting plus 115, so a little bit undervalued tonight when you look at the line like that. 2 straight up losses, coming off a 6-5 loss over Tampa Bay. Stamkos went upstairs where he kept the peanut butter, top shelf where you keep the peanut butter, and that's where Stamkos put the puck last game. And looking at Buffalo, though, they've had a little bit of success against Detroit in the last 10. In Detroit, Buffalo is 7-3 straight up, 5-5 for Detroit in the last 10 head-to-head meetings, and for Buffalo on the road this year, 4-5, while Detroit is 7-5 straight up. And looking overall, look at that, 19-9. So Detroit has had an overall success at home against the Buffalo Sabres. Let's take a look if there's any trends to talk about down here. Anytime a road team's on the road and they allowed 6 goals against in their last game, so this is a pretty good one. Anytime this year in the NHL, a road team allowed 6 goals against, like Buffalo did against Tampa Bay, the over is 15-8-1 for the road team. But let me see the probable goalies tonight. Anderson against Nedeljkovic. All right. But you know what? The over could be there. Nedeljkovic sporting a very high goals against average of 4.01, I believe, that I saw. Yeah. And a save percentage of 0.88. Not that good. I think the over is where you want to go here tonight in Big D. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying right now. NBA, of course. Another thing I'm seeing is home favorites coming off a loss. They are winning at 70%. Home favorites coming off a loss are winning at 70%. Hey, that was one of my, remember I told you guys at the beginning of the year, that was one of my my systems. If that's, let's go check. Let me see if that's true here. Because I checked the last time and I don't think it was 70%. So another thing I'm seeing, A-type teams. Are you talking about A-type teams, Rui? A-type teams winning at home, 75%, or any team? Let me see. Coming off a loss. Let me do this. Coming off a loss, current season. Survey says 69-45. That's pretty good. That is pretty good right there. So let me do this. So let's do 69 plus 45 equals 114. So 114, 69 divided by 114 equals 60%. Pretty good. Hey, just like the system I told you guys. Remember the system I showed you guys? Let me go right here. Let me go back. So that's a good system. So if I go back to the homepage right here, and if you follow the 10 commandments of sports betting, hey, you know my 10 commandments of sports betting. I just gave you a Moses lightning thunderstruck right there. Hey, that's a AC/DC thunderstruck. All right, let me go to the golden rules of sports betting. And remember this system I told you guys right here? NHL home favorites coming off a 1-goal loss is 60%, but this is a loss in general, right? But what about a 1-goal loss? Let me see a 1-goal loss. Let's go back to that NHL system. So let's go to our favorite super database. Hey, I feel like a Marvel comic book hero when I go to my super database.
Hey, Fred, that's one of them Superman suits, ain't it?
Super fly, Bubba, super fly.
Super fly, Bubba. Super fly. Told you it was a wacky Wednesday here today. Let's go to our 1-goal loss right here. 1-goal loss. Hey, they said there'd be no mathematics in this course here today. Hey, they said there'd be no math. Home favorites coming off a 1-goal loss, 29-21. Okay, not as good. Let me see. You know what? Let's try a 2-goal loss. Since they're pulling the goalies with like 10 minutes into the third period now, hey, it's just out of hand. It's just getting. You know what really pissed off is all the underbetters. Hey, when the score's 4-1. And or let me see. Let's say the score's 4-1, or even 4-2, and they're pulling the goalie with like 2 minutes left or 3 minutes left. Everybody just wants to throw the converter to the big screen TV. Am I right or am I wrong? If I'm right, hit the like button. Hey, it just pisses me off. 18-9. There you go. See, that's a good record right there. 18-9 straight up for teams coming off a 2-goal loss. Home favorites coming off a 2-goal loss. That's a pretty good record. But coming off a loss, I like your percentage play a little bit better there, Rui Pedro Nageria. Sorry, right, on the first period. Oh, the first period. Okay, first period. But we still, you know what? During the process, we found something good. All right, old man Anderson in nets. Yeah, old man Anderson. Hey?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. That's funny. Old man Anderson. Yeah, Craig Anderson in nets for Buffalo. All right, let me see what else you got. Closing November properly with the Pearls. Yeah, baby. Hey, Jose Gonzalez with a big LOL right there. Morning bullpen. Good morning. Who's Mizzou? I need a good morning soundbite when people come in. I have the birthday soundbite. Yeah, I need one for a good morning, eh? I need a good morning soundbite, but we'll find one. Winning first period, Bo Jackson. The only thing I spread is yeah, I'll show that. Them cheeks. All right, I don't bet totals or spread. You know what? I'm not a big, as you guys know, when you go and get the free picks each and every day here. I'm not a big totals guy. I do like maybe 5%. I can only focus on so many things. Jokes on the coach. I hit the ball already. Awesome. All right. Hey, I told you it was a wacky Wednesday. I'm in a wacky mood today, but you know what? Good mood today. Good company. That's why I'm in a good mood. I got good company. I tell you guys all the time, right? You don't need to be rich in material. As long as you're rich in friends, you got the world by the short and curlies right there. That's all I got to say. All right, let's go to the NBA. You guys ready for a little hype music right now in the NBA?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Need the bells, eh? The bells add to it. Then we pump up the jam right now. Y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready for this?
You guys better be dancing right now, okay?